your boy also Smitty, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I will be reviewing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, before I get started, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I got a lot to say about this movie. There is going to be this first part is the non-spoiler section, like usual. The last video I did with the Little Mermaid did not have one because it really wasn't nothing really too spoil or not like really nothing really because you can just watch the original and tell the difference. But yes, there is going to be a spoiler and non-spoiler section. This is the non-spoiler section, and basically for this section, all I'm gonna say is mostly go out and see the movie. Mostly go out and see the movie. This movie is fucking amazing. It is awesome. It is amazing. I can't really like go into depth about the goods and the bads because without spoiling it. Like the major league, like the most good parts about this film are the spoilers. So it's kind of like really hard. I could tell you like you know the like from the trailer you know the basis. You know Miles Morales possibly did something to threaten the Spider people, and Miguel O'Hara 2099 Spider-Man has sent the group of other Spider-Men in the Spider-Verse to go after him. You know, we know that. We know that. We know Spot is a villain in this film. We know that. We know that. All I'm gonna say is from those points, just from those, great. I loved them. It was perfect. Spot is hilarious. Spot is an amazing villain for the parts that we have of him. That's what I will say. For the parts we have of him, he's an amazing villain. Miguel O'Hara is really good. Oscar Isaacs does a really great job. A really great job. Really great job. Really, really, really great job. What else? Dang. Yeah, I can't really talk about. Yeah, Scarlet Spider. I believe he was in the trailer. He was in the trailer. Scarlet Spider. He was really good, really funny, very emo. I think this is really like my only gripes with the film. My only gripes with the film is the Scarlet Spider. I felt like he was done a little bit dirty. And like I would say my other problem would have to probably be that the fact that most of the main like elements were spoiled like in the trailer. Like they was really spoiled in the trailer. So we didn't really get a chance to like I didn't walk in completely with a fresh mind. I did not walk in completely with a fresh mind. Not really. No, not really. But there are some surprises and shock and stuff that will shock you. There's a lot of things that will blow your mind. All the most of the stuff that's bad is nitpicks. I don't really go too hard on cartoons or animation stuff as much as I do with like live action because at the end of the day these are stuff for kids. So and there's a lot of cool elements, a lot of grown up stuff that actually does happen in this. So yeah, it's actually very surprising. This film is really, 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 really good. I think a long time ago when I watched the first film, I would probably give the first film like a 9 out of 10, like a 9 out of 10, like in between an 8 and a 10 out of 10. Like I would, yeah, for an animated film, it's pretty perfect, pretty perfect, very pretty perfect. I would say the action is really good. The action's amazing, especially when Miles is getting chased. Loved it. It was great. Perfect. Um, what else? What else? What else? Them going to different universes. Well, actually, there's only they don't. Well, okay. For the most part, the universe that we do visit are really cool. The shell shaded styles on the different characters and the different universes does look very well, and seeing alarm and seeing the characters in these different universes always looks interesting. Excuse me, especially when we get to these like the cameos and the actual like deep into stuff, then you'll see all of that. You'll see pretty much all of that. Like it's an amazing. Um Trying to think what else can I say that's good without like spoiling without spoiling it. I'm gonna say Miles Morales, and Gwen. All the cast, the cast from the first movie, perfect. They're great, perfect. Miles got older. He's in the 10th grade, kind of doing that, kind of balancing like his Peter Parker life. Same with Peter. Got to deal with school, be Spider-Man, work, all that shit. He's perfect, perfect. I can't ask for. Miles is great. He's grown up now. I like the new suit. Like I kind of like how they put a new, kind of like how Insomniac for Marvel Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, they kind of put like a new spin on it. It's not just the standard or basic Miles Morales suit. I kind of like that. Yeah, pretty good. I love Gwen. I love their relationship now. I love Peter and Gwen's relationship now. I think that's one of the highlights of the film. That and Miles' whole mission once we get to like once he's being chased and Miguel O'Hara trying to stop him from doing this important thing because it's going to affect the multiverse. Like it's crazy. It is really crazy. Overall, this is what I have for the non-spoiler review. Uh, if I was to rate this movie, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 only because I'm only not giving it a 10 out of 10 because this is only part 1. And I'm pretty sure most people knew that. This is only part 1. It's only part 1. Only part 1. The next one is Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So this is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So this is part 1 and there's going to be a sequel. If this was just to have ended kind of like how Empire Strikes Back, even though that's the middle movie and we knew we was getting the third movie, it still kind of ends. So even if there was no continuation, it ends. This movie doesn't really end. It kind of ends literally on a cliffhanger. So yeah, for that, I'm going to just give it a 9 out of 10. It is definitely worth going to the theater and seeing it. Take your kids, take your cousins, take whoever. It is worth every penny. Worth every penny. And I would definitely recommend seeing this movie in either IMAX or 3D. 3D. I did not see this movie in 4D, but I do think you seeing it in IMAX or 3D is just as good. It is great. But 9 out of 10. There are so many great elements to this movie. It's perfect. The animation is everything. Great. Now, I'm about to get into the spoiler section. So, for all of those that did not see the movie, go see it. Now, like right now. It is worth every penny. Go see it. I can't say that enough. Go see it right now and then come back. And then come right back. So, I'm about to get to the spoiler section. And I hope you guys, for those that are leaving and about to go see the movie, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Once again, spoiler alert. We about to enter spoilers, and I'm about to go crazy. So, if you still here, if you sure you want to still be here for this, spoiler alert, spoiler warning. So, about to go 3, 2, 1. All right. So, this is the spoiler section now. Spoiler section. Get to talk about anything I want. Yes. So, pretty much, this is basically, and now I can take my time. This is a Gwen Stacy story. It's basically a Gwen Stacy story, and the whole beginning part, because the first segment is pretty long. It is pretty long. Pretty long. And we start off with Gwen, then we get to Miles, and then we get to Miles jumping across the universe with Gwen to stop the spot because the spot is blowing up and getting bigger and causing mayhem. But that's the premise. And that's at least at first. That's at first. So with the spider people, before I dive into it, Gwen, with the spider people, I'm gonna tell you mostly like the cameos. So it's a lot of cameos, tons of them, tons and tons and tons of them. There's a cameo from Marvel Spider-Man, the Insomniac Spider-Man. There's a cameo from Spectacular Spider-Man. There's a cameo from Tobey Maguire in this movie. And Andrew Garfield. It's kind of no Tom Holland is not in this film, surprisingly, but I didn't see him at least. So with this, the whole story is basically that in order to be Spider-Man, you have to experience at least one or two tragedies in your life, and then you would get a redemption moment, epilogue. And because Miguel O'Hara did something, he tried to make it where life can be perfect and whatever, and like nothing bad can happen. But then the multiverse end up going bad. It end up something happens, something explodes, and then the world starts getting destroyed. That's what happened with one of the universes. That's what happened with one of them. And what happens is Miguel O'Hara has in his 2099 in the 2099 universe, he has this league or this hall full of all the Spider-Verse people, every Spider-Man that ever is. And they all have these little watches that makes them so they don't glitch out, like how the Miles would glitch out in the first movie, and Miles does glitch out in this film. So they can be, and it also is used to travel between the different universes. So stops them from glitching and has them be able to travel from the universe. So, yeah. And then with the cameos, a lot of the cameos, like Spider-Punk, stuff like that, those are new characters. You have, I think, a Mexican Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot his name. Then you got the Spider Kitty, you got Spider-Man on a horse. Once again, you saw Toby and Andrew. It was just clips from the old films. There is an interesting one. Childish Gambino is in this movie as a live action Prowler. That was very interesting. Very cool. Then we have the Asian lady from Venom. I forgot her name. She's like owns that market. We see her for a second. So the Spot goes into the multiverse. He goes in the multiverse using the spots, and then he sees the Venom universe. We don't see Venom, but we see that lady that's in that owns that convenience store. So it's a whole bunch of cameos. But with the story, it's basically just Miles Morales decides that he wants to he finds out that his father is going to die because he becomes captain. And because he becomes captain, he's going to die. He's just supposed to die. And once again, every Spider-Man has to experience a tragedy. So Miles is going to go out and prevent that. And what else Miles discovers is that in this version, he's not supposed to have became Spider-Man. In another universe, there was a Peter Parker that was supposed to get bit by the spider, but because of all that stuff with the Spot, and not because of the Spot, because of what Kingpin did, that spider that he got bit from in Into the Spider-Verse got sent to his universe where he got bit, and then his Peter Parker died. His Peter Parker died in his universe, and then the Peter Parker in the other universe where that spider came from died. That Peter Parker in the other, he died because he never got bit, and then in that universe it looks destroyed. There's no nothing. It's nothing. Everything is destroyed. There's no savior of that universe. There's no Spider-Man, there's no superheroes, there's no it's nothing. Nothing. It's just crime and somewhat like anti-villains. So because of that, he's the original. He's the problem. So Miles ends up being chased by all the Spider people, and Miguel O'Hara tries to go after him and tries to pretty much cage him so he can't prevent, because Miguel O'Hara thinks that Miles is one of the problems why the universe is broken, and he also thinks that by him trying to save his father, that's going to cause an anomaly or cause an explosion in the universe. Even though Miles saved saved someone from another, saved two people's, he saved one of the Spider-Man's girlfriend and father, and he blamed him for like for it being like a hole in that universe, like a black hole. But really, I feel like it was because of the spot. But they don't make it clear, which I like. So it could either be because Miles prevented it, or it could be because of the spot. We don't really know. But from that point on, and through flashbacks and stuff like that, Miles runs and goes on a whole spree. Goes on a whole spree. I kind of find it weird how like his powers work, because I noticed that none of the other Spider-Man can sense him, especially Gwen. Her spider sense is not that good. She can't really sense him when he's around, because there's a moment where he's like sneaking to see Gwen and what she's actually doing back in his universe. And so he could have just became invisible. That was another nitpick I had. He could have just became invisible and then just literally just snuck past all the spider people, but it wouldn't have been, I guess it wouldn't have been that cool. So he just did what he did normally, which was run and chase. And he dodges every spider person. He literally, beats every single spider person, which is crazy, including Miguel O'Hara. He jukes him out a couple of times. So Miles is pretty OP in this film, and his electric powers got better as well. So, what else? What else happened? Oh, here's the one. Genki, and it was like a little quick little nod. Genki, at one point when Miles was fighting the Spot at the beginning, and he thinks he captured him. He went back to his dorm, and Genki's playing Marvel Spider-Man PS5. He's playing Marvel Spider-Man 2 PS5, and you can see like more gameplay. Like it's not gameplay that we've seen before. It's like new gameplay, which I thought was pretty cool how they added that in there. That was just a little quick note. I gave it. I might actually give the movie a 10 out of 10 for something just because of that. But I'm gonna keep it at a 9 out of 10. But yeah, Miles is chased, and then he eventually gets back to his home, which is actually not his home. He gets to another universe in which he doesn't get back. He gets to a universe that looks like the universe that lost its Peter Parker and lost the spider that was opposed to bite him. That's the universe he goes to, and in that universe, his uncle Aaron is still alive, but his father is dead, and also in that universe, Uncle Aaron is not the Prowler. He is the Prowler. And he got like hit, and Miles in that version where he's the Prowler looks all evil. He got braids. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And that's kind of like where it ends. It ends kind of like with that. And with the rest of the Spider people going, with Gwen going into the portal to go find Miles. So, that's pretty much how it is. The whole beginning with Gwen, I think Gwen being basically like pretty much the main character, because the whole first like prelude, introduction, whatever you want to call it, is about Gwen. It's about Gwen and her story, and then it shows her father not liking Spider-Gwen because she thinks she killed Peter Parker in that universe, even though he became the Lizard, and that's why he died. And then Gwen eventually, it shows like some ventures, then she eventually fights a variation of Vulture that's not from her universe, and then Miguel O'Hara comes in and saves her, along with another spider person, and then she tells her dad that she's Spider-Gwen, and then her dad still wants to arrest her and shoot her, which makes no sense to me, because why would you believe your daughter, but whatever. So yeah, it's pretty, that whole beginning part. Then she ends up joining Miguel O'Hara in the quest to find to find the Spot and any other anomalies and other villains going into different universes. And then it's like another. It's mostly like she gets a moment in like the beginning of the film, the middle of the film, and then like toward like the end. Like this was pretty much her story. Like Miles is in it. Don't get me wrong. Like he becomes the main character through like most of the like. It's like a little bit like in between, but mostly is Gwen. It's somewhat like a Gwen Stacy story at times. Like mostly at times. So, and for that part, I enjoyed it. I like seeing Gwen. They once again they got she's older as well, so I enjoy seeing Gwen. And Gwen feels bad now because she didn't actually go back to see. I keep saying Peter, see Miles. She actually went back there for a mission, and then towards like the fight that Miles has on that train that we see in the trailer, and he says, "I'm gonna do my own thing." He finds out that they all knew that he was an anomaly and that he would go through this and try and save his father, and they're going to try and stop him. And then Miles just turns his back. They all just go after him, and Miles doesn't trust anyone anymore, and then he just goes off on his own. So from that point, Gwen somewhat becomes an antagonist, if you want to say. But the beginning, the end, the beginning, middle, and end, Gwen are basically Gwen's story. Like it's mostly moments Gwen, with Gwen. And Gwen learns her lesson. She ends up redeeming herself, and then goes out to try and find Miles. Try and find Miles. Now let me talk about Miguel O'Hara. So I think Oscar Isaacs did a great job. I don't know what they did with the first design of Miguel O'Hara, but in this, he looks amazing. Miguel O'Hara looks amazing. He looked real bulky. The end credit scene looks in the first one looks so it looks so different compared to this one. It looks so different. I don't know what happened, but bro been pumping iron or something because bro look completely different. Bro is basically after a while Spot like he causes the most of the problems. Like he like that's the whole goal. Like he's the overall villain. But for a while Miguel O'Hara eventually becomes the villain in a way, and then goes after Miles, and then he's once again he's like I would say in this from what I've seen he's the strongest. So until he gets to Miles, and then Miles like jukes him 1,000 times. So yeah, he was pretty cool and pretty scary. He has a lot of eerie moments. It was a lot of serious moments in this film, especially with him and Miles, and where Miguel O'Hara looks back on his past and stuff like that. So Oscar Isaacs, and there's moments where I didn't even know it was him, but he does an amazing job. I like really like that. I really enjoyed that. Now I can go with deep into the action. With the action, Miles really goes ham on the Spider people using all of his electricity. He tricks freaking this cowboy Spider-Man that gets on a horse because he thinks he's ready to draw the gun, but then he ends up not drawing the gun because Miles just whacks him before he gets the 3. So it's a whole bunch. Like you're gonna be blown away by the action. Like it's so much going on, so much going on, and it's really the movie kind of keeps going. Like there's really no. It's like some breaks, but there's no breaks. There's some heartfelt moments, of course, like between Miles and his mother and his father, or Miles with Gwen. But more than like, it's mostly action. Like it's like the film is like, and you can somewhat feel the. At first, I didn't really feel the runtime because I was kind of like, this movie feels too short. But then it started feeling a little long. Because it's like, I was like, why are they showing certain scenes? But then I remembered it's like they're making a second part to it. So, of course, they're going to show these scenes because, oh, they're getting another part. So we can wait to, like, go back and revisit some of these moments. So, but yeah, it's overall the action was like pretty good, and the runtime is It's 2 hours and 13 minutes. I thought it was actually longer. It felt longer. It felt longer, but it felt short. It felt like 2 hours and 30 minutes, but then it felt like an hour and 50 minutes. I don't know really how to explain it. But the action and the visuals were pretty good for the main fight, the main like scene where he goes and gets chased. That which from what you saw in the trailer. With the spot, pretty much the spot is the other, well, the main, he is a villain. So it starts off with him just fighting Miles Morales, and then it literally ends up getting to him like world domination and trying to destroy and take over all the universes. And Spot is originally a guy that was working with Fisk, and then because of the events that happened at the end of Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse, he becomes the Spot, and he blames Miles Morales, and he eventually wants to be his greatest villain. So after all of those events, and then he ends up being trapped in his own spot, and then he comes out and he goes to, I believe it's each universe goes to this Alchemax, and then he absorbs each of those energies from Alchemax and becomes stronger and starts destroying and going to other universes. So I thought from the Spot, it's pretty cool, and I kind of want to see how long this is going to go and where we're going to keep going for this. So it was pretty good with Spot, pretty good. I would definitely, when you go to the theater, he's going to see more cool, especially as his outfit evolves throughout the film. So definitely worth going to see Spot. So with the other Spider people, I mean, like Spider-Punk is a cool one. He was pretty cool. I liked him. I think he was my favorite character in the film. He was my favorite character in the film. I thought he was really good. And a couple of the other Spider-Punk ends up leaving, and then when he meets up with Gwen again, we see kind of the other Spider-Verse people, like from the first movie, like Spider-Man Noir, the Asian Spider-Man, I forgot her name as well. The Spider Pig. Pretty much the ones we saw from the first film. That's basically who returns. That's basically who returns. And of course, Peter B. Parker. He was in this throughout the entire thing once, and he was also chasing Peter and trying to convince him and help him at moments, help him escape. But he has a child now, as we saw in the trailer. So, but yeah, mostly I feel like the next movie we're going to see the original cast along with a couple of new people, and they're going to go and try and save Miles from his evil variation of himself where he is the Prowler. So, yeah. But if I was kind of asked before, like, which film I would think is better, even though like this film isn't like technically finished, or this saga isn't finished, because apparently it's supposed to be Beyond the Spider-Verse, of course, and then it's supposed to be another one. So, and it comes out next year, so we don't gotta wait another 5 years, which I am happy we don't have to do that. So, I couldn't really decide which one is better. I'm gonna go with this one since this one was a little bit more action packed. I like really enjoyed this one. But I don't know. I can't really like pick. I can't really decide. So it's kind of, yeah, I'm gonna go with the new one. And then as we like connect everything, I feel like it will eventually be the other movies beat out the first one. So yeah, that's pretty much it for what I have with the spoilers and everything. Anything else that I miss? I might have missed a couple of things, but when you go to the theater, it's so much you're gonna see on the screen. It's gonna be so much you probably miss, and so much that you haven't seen before, and there's so many cameos, so many action scenes, so many heartfelt moments. It's just an overall really good film, and once again, I definitely recommend going to see this in IMAX or 3D. And once again, I give this a 9 out of 10. You know what? No, fuck it, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. If there was to make none other, No, this is where it ended. It just ended on a cliffhanger. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. But because there's more, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And then once we watch everything else, and then I can watch it on like Disney Plus or like on Blu-ray, it's probably all the movies are gonna probably be 10 out of 10. Yeah. Now they say this is considered the best Spider-Man movie. Now, personally, I think Spider-Man 2 is always gonna be my favorite. Like as a grounded level as what Peter Parker goes through, I think that Spider-Man 2 will always be the best. But for animation, and if you're going to include it, I mean, it is probably the best. Yes, definitely. I would definitely consider it the best. I would definitely consider it the best. But I'm a little biased, so I'm gonna keep. I would put Spider-Man 2, Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, and then it would be the other. I would just figure out what I want to go. But that's, I know Spider-Man 2 will always be number one. I don't think that's ever going to change. So, but we can just wait and see the other ones and see how all of it connects. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.